Hey, it's Andy here with Thomann's drumbash. Besides drums, sticks, drum heads and cymbals, there's some more very small but very effective tools you can use to achieve the drum sound you're looking for. Let's look at some of my favorite drum add-on tools. First up, let's talk about muffling tools. I basically divide in three groups: sticky mufflers, clip-on muffling tools, and full surface tools. Let's start with stick-on tools. Sticky mufflers basically are little muffling tools that you just place on the drum head. There's countless different options. For example, Millennium got some, Sky Gel, Moon Gel, but basically all companies do have some similar products. The way they work is actually always the same and the effect is the same as well. So just take one of those guys, place it on the drum head, done. Let's listen to what it does to the snare. Next category of muffling tools are clip-on mufflers, and I especially like those little tools from Snare. And one of the main reasons I like those is because they simply clip onto the rim of the drum and they have a magnet built in that makes it very easy to switch the muffling off and on while playing. You can also fold those little wings in and get less muffling if you, for a special song, want just a little muffling and then you want more. That's all possible, and you got 4 different muffling options with one little tool. Now here, for a demonstration, I got the M1 for a medium muffling and the M80 for quite substantial muffling. Did you witness that when hitting the drum, those little wings also lifted up a little? That helps that you get the initial attack and also a bit of the tone and the body of the drum, but then it dampens the overtones afterwards and shortens the tone. Let's go on with maybe the most extreme sort of muffling tools. Now, I call those full surface muffling tools, since they just slide on top of your drum and, in this case, cover the whole surface of the drum head. One very common tool are dampening rings. This is an Aquarian studio ring, but they come from all sorts of drumhead manufacturers. You get them from Remo or Aquarian or Evans. The muffling actually varies by how wide the rings are. So wider ring, more muffling, smaller ring, less muffling. This works very well if you just want an 80s-like sound. You'll witness that in a second. If you want it to be even more extreme, Big Fat Snare Drum is the company for you. They have so many great muffling tools. It's just outstanding. This, the donut, is just basically a huge dampening ring. It slides on top of your snare, and since there is the hole in the middle, you still get the initial attack of the stick on the drumhead, but everything else is gone. And then you got this one, like the classic big fat snare drum. Since it's full surface, it also kills the initial attack, and that's a very fat snare sound. Let's see what those do to your snare. Great thing about those big fat snare drums is that you can go from a pretty high-tuned open snare to a low and muffled snare drum in less than a second. Now let's leave muffling tools behind and go on with some other small tools that will help you change your sound. So the first sound tool I want to show you is Sabian's Hoop Crasher. As you can see, Jojo Mayer invented it, or he came up with it and produced it together with Sabian. And it looks actually quite similar to the studio rings we just had. Also works in the same way. Just slide it on top of your snare drum and it opens up completely new sound colors to you. Still, it also muffles your snare sound. But, for example, a rim click sound, more of an electronic sound, and also if you want to play rim shots, this adds a whole new color to your playing. Let me play some grooves and see what I come up with. So if you want to add an electronic vibe to your snare sound, that's a really good way to go. But here's another tool that will work perfectly fine for you. Now, this little tool is called a drum G, and it does not look very spectacular. It's basically an elastic strap with two clamps. But if you fix it on the rim of your snare, now you can slide whatever you want underneath here and it will stay where you want it to. For example, a splash cymbal. You could also use nut shakers or screws or whatever you want, but splash cymbal works very well to imitate clap sounds or other electronic sound colors. Here's a demonstration. That's kind of a huge change in sound. Just to show you how quick you can change in between. I changed nothing about the tuning. So you get this clap-like sound. Get the cymbal off. Regular open snare sound. That's a pretty mighty tool. Let's check out some more. Gruv-x is a company that specializes on drum add-on equipment. For example, the X-Click. It's simply installed by putting it under the tension rods of your snare. Let's listen to how this little tool changes the cross-stick sound. The combination of wooden and copper layers gives you a great, full and very precise cross-stick sound. And this does not only work for a 14-inch snare drum, it also works for a 12-inch and a 10-inch that usually lack when it comes to cross-stick sounds because of the small diameter of the drum. This tool will change that. Try it out yourself. Now, let's go on with the last and final small tool for this video. Last up is a Sizzle chain, in this case the Cymbal Bacon by Meinl. It's super easy to install. Simply get rid of the cymbal felt, place it on top and then done. This way you can add some sustain, some sizzling, some more texture to your cymbal sound, to cymbal swells, and just create a different atmosphere. Now, all of those little tools can come in very handy in a lot of different situations. Of course, you can combine them and use a tambourine on the hi-hat, sizzle chain on the right, some muffling tools on the snare with the Gruv-x over here. And it's totally up to you to come up with your own creative ways to use those tools, to combine them, and to just create your own signature drum sound. What other tools do you like to use, and how do you like to treat your drums in your own way? Let us know in the comments and see you in one of the next videos.